Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Morristown Unitarian Fellowship. My name is Marjorie Wormser. I am your Sunday associate this morning. Welcome to this community filled with social justice and radical hospitality, and whoever you are and wherever you are welcome here in this room and online this morning. We adhere to the principles of Unitarian Universalism, which you will find if there's a gray hymnal in the seat before you. It's in the early pages. It's also on this welcome card, which is in a pocket on the back of the chair. And please feel free to take this card with you. Additional information about this congregation and Unitarian Universalism is available at the welcome table, which you passed on the way between the front doors and this room. And we welcome you for coffee and conversation after the service. This would be a great time to silence any noise-making devices that may perk up during our service. And in the spirit of welcoming and hospitality, let's take 1 minute, just 1 minute, to welcome someone you didn't come with this morning. It could be an elbow bump, it could be a handshake, it could be... Thank you everyone for greeting one another so warmly. It's one of my favorite parts of a Sunday morning, so thank you for that. I have a few brief announcements. Information about this and all other activities occurring in our congregation can be found on our website at www.muff.org/calendar. I'm sorry, what's that? MUUF.org/calendar. I need practice. Okay, let's get through these so that we can begin our morning worship. So after today's Sunday service, the Odyssey Project will present the Odyssey of Alan Wells. Alan, are you here today? Reverend Alan Wells? Yes, there you are. Welcome back. Hope you're feeling better. Please join in person in the meeting room, or you can stream online through YouTube. Also, on Sunday, August 27th at 3 p.m., there will be a game day here at the fellowship. All are welcome. Is Rita here? Okay, Rita Morris and I believe Carol Johnson organize the once-a-month Sunday game days. It's pretty much a board game kind of day, and they bring Rummikub, I believe, and there are other games welcome. All ages are welcome for this. Then on Sunday, September 10th, that would be the Sunday after Labor Day, will be our in-gathering Sunday, and additional information will be provided as that date approaches. And as also on September 10th, we will have a blood drive. Our blood drive is Zella here today. And Joan Bells, okay. Thank you for correcting me. Joan Bells organizes a blood drive. It will take place on September 10th. Appointments are available from 8:30 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. Please see the weekly email for registration information I see. See, I should have read ahead. Contact Franklin Heller, whose voice you also heard, and Joan Bells for more information. There will be a ceremonial groundbreaking for the new building on Sunday, September 17th, following the service, and more information will be coming about that. Finally, on Thursday afternoons at 4 p.m., there is a bocce game in the front oval of the fellowship, weather permitting. All are welcome. Please contact Toby Tyler. Toby, are you here this morning? I think I saw Annette. Nope. Well, contact Toby Tyler, and I think Don Preziosi organizes that with Toby, if you'd like some additional information. Thank you for your patience with these announcements, and our morning worship will now begin. And now we will light our chalice, the symbol of our faith in Unitarian Universalism, with some helpers, please. And on the screen, this is what we say together. Ready? Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you, chalice lighters. And now Gabor Kiss will provide some opening words.
"2023 is the 30th anniversary of our relationship with our Unitarian partner church in the village of Sinfalva, Romania, in the region known as Transylvania. Yes, Transylvania is a real place, the part of Hungary which was given to Romania in the aftermath of World War I. The letter which started this relationship was written by our minister, Paul Ratzlaff, on September 9, 1993, and hand-carried to Sinfalva by Ruth Vogler. You can see the letter displayed in the Partner Church corner in the library and also on the Partner Church page of the MUF website. Go to muuf.org and search for the word partner. You may be wondering why MUF should have any connection at all with a small village in the Hungarian-speaking part of Romania. Here is 60 seconds of oversimplified history to answer that question. You may have heard of the doctrine of the Trinity, agreed to at the Council of Nicaea in present-day Turkey in 325 AD. Apparently, this core tenet of Christianity was not part of the original teachings of Jesus, but was created centuries after him. In 1531, a Spaniard by the name of Michael Servetus published works questioning the validity of this doctrine entitled On the Errors of the Trinity. He was eventually burned at the stake by John Calvin in 1553 for this and other blasphemies. A bit later in the 16th century, a preacher named Francis David at the court of King John Sigismund of Transylvania persuaded the king to reject Trinitarianism at the famous debate in Torda in 1568. The banner in the back of the room, back there, is an image of Francis David taken from a painting depicting this debate. The king proclaimed a limited form of religious tolerance in the Edict of Torda of 1568, the first time such a thing had ever happened. Unfortunately, King John Sigismund died young, and his successor persecuted Unitarians. Francis David was imprisoned for the crime of blasphemous innovation and died in prison in 1579. Now, starting in 1990, there was a movement to link UU churches in the USA and elsewhere with village churches in Transylvania. Paul Ratzlaff was an early adopter in this movement and initiated the contact I mentioned. Since I speak Hungarian pretty well, he asked me to get involved with the creation of this relationship. For me, it was a totally unexpected opportunity to get involved with an unusual and exciting project. So, the Partner Church Committee was formed in 1993 and has continued since then. It's important to realize that the Unitarians in Transylvania consider themselves to be Christians and are theists. They would simply dispute the divinity of Jesus. This is why their motto is Egy az Isten, or God is one. In those 30 years, there have been multiple visits by various people to the village of Sinfalva, which is only 30 minutes from the historic city of Torda. I myself have been 4 or 5 times and have brought my mom Klara, my sister Agi, my son Áldás at various times. Some other MUF members who visited were Don Price, Tom and Amor McGinnis, Ruth Vogler, and Sue Eisdorfer. In fact, shortly after joining us, our previous minister Allison Miller and her husband David Snedden visited. There was a Sunday program about this visit on September 17, 2006, which is available for viewing on DVD. Only 2 months ago, Diane and Don Marks visited Sinfalva and Torda and were graciously and generously received. They will talk about their visit a bit later in this program. In addition, Diane Koslow will be visiting at the end of August, and she will talk about her feelings and thoughts, anticipating her visit. Steve Kreha has been a member of the Partner Church Committee for a long time also, and he will talk about the relationship that developed between him and the minister's younger son, Zoltán. We will also hear reflections from Wendy Kovacs and Lilli Keating. Unfortunately, we have never had the opportunity to host Reverend Dénes Pálfi and his wife Ildiko here in Morristown. We have, however, been sending a Christmas gift of $750 every year for at least 20 years, usually funded from Sunday special collections, but also various fundraisers like selling palacsinta, which are Hungarian crepes. Today's collection will be split 50-50 as an additional gift to Sinfalva to thank them for their generous hospitality. A few of the songs in our ICUUW songbooks are actually translations of songs from the Transylvanian Unitarians. One of these is number 1043, Székely, Áldás, Seklar Blessing. In fact, both Jim Blanton and Stern Matthews learned to sing the original Hungarian for previous services, and today Beth will sing it for us too. In addition, some of our songs have been translated into Hungarian, and she will be singing Élet, Lelke, Spirit of Life, as well.
So why don't you stand and join me singing Spirit of Life? Thank you. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea.
Why I'm in Partner Church. When I left Hungary in 1956, my name was Livia Judit Antalfi. Here at MUF, I'm Lilli Keating, and I've had several names in between, which is probably rather normal for anyone moving to a different country, language, and culture. A few marriages also caused some name changes. But that was decades ago. My parents are now dead, as are their Hungarian friends. My siblings are American-born. The Partner Church is my last connection to the language and culture I was born into. It is through this committee I can still learn about the places my family came from. The only Hungarian I still hear is Gabor's, and I value his communications in my original language, even if I don't always understand it. To recognize that we have similar values as the Hungarians in Sinfalva, even though our circumstances are so different, is truly an optimistic and hopeful connection that deserves our support. And our time for all ages today will be in Hungarian.
The first one is, szeretném, ha szeretnének. Sem utódja, sem boldog őse, sem rokona, sem ismerőse nem vagyok senkinek, nem vagyok senkinek. Vagyok, mint minden ember, benség, északfok, titok, idegenség, lidérces messze fény, lidérces messze fény. De jaj, nem tudok így maradni. Szeretném magam megmutatni, hogy látva lássanak, hogy látva lássanak. Ezért minden önkínzás, ének. Szeretném, hogyha szeretnének, és lennék valakié, és lennék valakié. De others, akik mindig elkésnek. Mi mindig mindenről elkésünk. Mi biztosan messziről jövünk. Fáradt, szomorú a lépésünk, mi mindig mindenről elkésünk. Meghalni se tudunk nyugodtan. Amikor már megjön a halál, lelkünk vörösen lágvalóban, meghalni se tudunk nyugodtan. Mi mindig mindenről elkésünk. Késő az álmunk, a sikerünk, révünk, nyugalmunk, ölelésünk. Mi mindig mindenről elkésünk.
This is called God is My Fortress.
Erős várunk nékünk az Isten, és pajzsunk ellenség ellen. Megszabadít veszedelmektől, melyek ránk jönnek mindenfelől. A mi régi ellenségünk támadt ellenünk, erővel, fegyverrel és családsággal, és minden nagy hatalmassággal.
So this is the time in our service when we share deeply important personal milestones that have happened during the week. And know that we are your community. If you have a serious need or have suffered a personal tragedy, we want to help. And if you have a new member in your family or other personal joy, we are eager for the chance to celebrate with you. And I have one. Are there any others in the room for today? Looks like not. Okay, this one is from Joel Miller. Reverend Joel and his beloved Reverend Deborah got engaged in Spain 2 weeks ago. Joel and Deborah are very happy and wishing you a lifetime of joy and adventure and fulfillment of your dreams. We also have a gratitude card, and this one, I believe, is from Sandra Persichetti. And I think that's supposed to be anonymous. Forget I said that. Remember? Do you remember in Men in Black, there's a pen, it goes bzzzt, and you forget? So bzzzt, forget I said that first part. So here is gratitude for all of the gardeners for maintaining the flowers and the pots that are surrounding the mansion and in the parking lot. It makes our place look well loved and cared for. Okay. So we're happy that when you feel comfortable to share and tell of your personal joys and concerns, and we recognize that some concerns may be too private, perhaps even some joys too private to share at this moment. So let us respect those needs and the ones we have heard in a moment of silence. And as we enter this moment of silence, may we be instruments of peace and hope in the world. O Spirit of life, known by many names, but by no name fully known, we gather today with hopes and dreams, and also with fears and wounds. May we be reminded that all things come and go, that today's joys and today's sorrows will in time give way to those of tomorrow. And those of us who have strength to share today, let's do so while we can. And those of us who are in need, let's allow ourselves to receive, for tomorrow those roles might well be reversed. I think we have a reflection from Wendy Kovacs now.
Okay. How I discovered our partnership. Well, I'll stand on my tippy. It was after a fellowship service that I attended a display of programs offered here. The Partner Church Committee had an interesting table. My husband's father, who I never met, I knew was born in Budapest. And for 47 years, my last name has been Kovacs, which I came to learn in Hungary is as common as Smith is here. In fact, it actually means Smith. So I was drawn into looking at the scrapbook on the table. Since then, I have explored the website and the Partner Church Corner in the library, and I enjoyed the sense of connection with people halfway around the world. I have a vision of us extending a hand in friendship, and I believe this is needed more and more in the world, connecting and realizing that we are all one. I invite you to look into the Partner Church website and the display in the library, and then bring your ideas of fellowship to a Zoom meeting of the Partner Church Committee. I hope to see you there.
member of the Partner Church Committee afforded me an opportunity I might never have had otherwise. Back in 2018, Gabor was planning a trip to our partner church in Romania. My wife and I decided to tag along and visit Sinfalva along with a few other people. We already had a Danube cruise planned that left from Budapest, so we were going to tack the Sinfalva excursion onto the front end and terminate in Budapest to pick up the cruise. Gabor took ill and was unable to go. We did not want to go on our own to Sinfalva, so we decided to spend the week in Budapest. Although we couldn't go to Sinfalva and the church, we got the next best thing. The church came to us, well, sort of. Before leaving for Hungary, Gabor put me in touch with Zoltán Pálfi, the minister's younger son, also known as Zoli informally. Zoltán was gracious enough to meet us in Budapest, where he had a job there and was also living there. He took us to several places, a rooftop restaurant and a ruin pub. A ruin pub is a building that was burned out during the war in World War II and has been turned into a bar or a pub. He spent the entire day with us, showing us around. He also gifted us a bottle of his favorite wine. This made us a very special trip and more memorable. I am still in touch with Zoli. He recently got married and we are friends on Facebook, so I was able to see some of the pictures and videos of his special day. I am grateful for this unique experience, and it all came about because of the Partner Church Committee.
Rise, embody your spirit, and sing for all that is our life.
And now is the time in our service when we give and receive our weekly offering. We believe that generosity changes lives. It changes the lives of people in our community and the greater world, and it changes our own lives in the giving. And as Gabor mentioned, well, every week, 50% of what you contribute goes to the good work of this fellowship as well, and the other 50% goes to the good work of nonprofit organizations in our community and the greater world. And so as we enjoy the beautiful offertory music from Beth Wilson, the ushers will pass the baskets, and please give as you are moved in support of all this good work that needs to be done. Thank you so much.
It says Donna Diane Marks, but obviously Diane is not here. She had to take care of an emergency with one of our daughter-in-laws. So in May, which is very, very recently, Diane and I flew to Cluj-Napoca, which is in Romania. And it's in Transylvania and on the border with Hungary, and a very modern, peaceful, post-Soviet country. It's highly organized, it's safe, it's clean, and very friendly to visitors. Credit cards are accepted. Unlike in Spain, where we had a lot of trouble in using American dollars, forget about that in Spain, but in Cluj-Napoca, we didn't use dollars, but credit cards were easy to use. People were peaceful and educated, and it was very easy to find someone who spoke English. And I can say the same about Hungary. Very peaceful, organized place with people that spoke English. On our first day in Cluj, we visited the Unitarian Church, which is really a grand building. The school, the Unitarian school, and the museum. Our guide was Julia Kopandi, on slide 3. And this is us in the museum, and that's Julia's husband, Zoltán. Julia is a local minister who is also at the Outreach Center for Visiting Unitarians. So if any of you visit, I'm sure you'll get to meet her. Pre-arrangements were facilitated by Gabor, which was very appreciated. We also met with Zoltán Kopandi, her husband, who worked at the museum, and they were very knowledgeable about Unitarian history and walked us through the museum, which was filled with Unitarian history and lots of artifacts, manuscripts, history, and dating back 500 years. At the Unitarian school across the street, the halls were filled with happy children of all ages and grades. We met with the teacher and with the principal. We met with Reverend Istvan Kovacs, another Kovac. And who's the bishop of the Hungarian Unitarian Church. And we also saw St. Michael's Church. Next slide. This is massive. It's an absolutely beautiful place. And it was a Unitarian church for 150 years, from 1566 to 1716. There's a huge plaza here, and all around the plaza you'll find all sorts of really nice restaurants, places to walk at all hours of the day or night. It's completely safe. There's no graffiti. There are no homeless people. It's just great. And Diane was able to find gelato. There is a statue of Francis David in Cluj, right by the school, which is across the street from that St. Michael's Church. Reverend Dénes Pálfi, the minister of the Unitarian Church in Sinfalva, met us on the second day in Cluj. Here he is with his wife, Ildko, in their house. Reverend Dénes drove us to Torda, and we toured the very old and historic city. The Edict of Torda of 1566, as Gabor explained, extended religious freedom to all people, declaring that it was not allowed to intimidate anybody with captivity or expulsion for his religion. It was the first attempt at legislating general religious freedom in Christian Europe. We saw the Ladder Monument, which is known by every Unitarian as a symbol, and this is in the square of Torda. We're at one end of Torda. It's not a very big place, but it's very nice. Lots of construction going on there and public projects. And at the other end of the street is the museum we went to. The figure of Francis David, let's see, in the Torda Museum, slide 11, which is off of that main street, we saw the famous Edict of Torda painting. Here is the whole painting, slide 12, of which that painting is a part of it. The figure of Francis David in the center is on the banner which hangs at the back of our meeting room, which is right there. From Torda, it was a short drive to the village of Sinfalva to visit the home of Reverend Dénes and see the Unitarian Church where he is the minister. Slide 13, the next slide. So there we are. And back of us is Reverend Dénes' house. There's Reverend Dénes. And there is the church at Sinfalva. There are a lot of Unitarian churches all over Transylvania. And it seems like every one of them had a sponsor from a different church in the U.S. Matter of fact, another place we went to, which was in a gap, which I don't have the slide for it right now, we went to a beautiful gap that looked like a Delaware water gap. That was hosted by Boston. So we had a delicious lunch at Reverend Dénes' house, prepared by his wife Lelke, who you saw earlier. Here is the church school next to it, now a public nursery school. Slide 14, there it is. This is also sort of across the street. It's not a very big place, but it's very peaceful. Here is the interior of the church, next slide, looking up from the back. And there is the different flags, the pulpit area. There's a quilt, which I don't know if you can see the quilt, but we're going to show it in a minute. Every church has a quilt with the different churches from Transylvania and the quilt. Let's see, here is in the pulpit, inscribed with the words, God is one. Slide 16. Gott ist einen. I don't know how to say this in... Yes, right. I said it in German. The people speak a lot of languages there, but they don't speak German. And they don't speak French, so it's English, Hungarian, and Romanian. As Gabor pointed out, Unitarians in Transylvania are Christian theists. They are you, but not you. Finally, here is a glass plate from Muff. Some of you may remember this plate. It's hanging right there in Sinfalva at the church. It's very easy to see. It's right next to the quilt, and it shows the Muff. And they're very, very happy that we're their partner church. They have a feeling of closeness to us. So that is my presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Well, some of you may find yourself wondering why I, an 82-year-old widow, would be traveling to Transylvania to meet a ICUUW minister from our partner church, and alone at that. Well, it's a long story, and it begins in 1982 when I was 41 years old. I was a single parent of 3 children, and I had never been outside of the United States, unless you count a few trips to resorts in the Caribbean. I never even thought much about it. Then I met Frank, my second husband and the love of my life. He had done some foreign travel and was anxious to continue. When we decided to combine our lives, we had to blend our interests and hobbies in addition to our families. Well, he eagerly joined me in some of my simple interests, such as camping, antiquing, and dressing up in costumes to go to parties. So when he suggested that we go to China for our honeymoon, how could I say no? We went to China in 1984 when it had only been opened for tourism for a few years. It was the old China with people wearing the Mao uniforms, carrying yokes on their shoulders, and living in huts with dirt floors. Some people lived in communes where they worked. Others picked rice in the soggy fields. The communist government told us where we could go, mostly factories and historic landmarks. The toilets were holes in the floor. What an introduction to travel for me, my first time out of the United States. In the ensuing years, we went to Africa, India and Nepal, Turkey, Thailand, Morocco, and the like. Europe could wait until we were older. There were always a few single people on these trips, and I was amazed at how they had the courage to travel alone. It wasn't something I could ever picture myself doing. We started traveling with a company that emphasized cultural interactions, such as having meals with locals and spending time with them, participating in their lives. I always found this aspect of travel fascinating. I loved meeting the people and finding out about their aspirations, values, and day-to-day lives. Unfortunately, Frank got sick and passed away 4 years ago. I didn't travel at all for about 3 years during his illness, but then I got the opportunity to go to Cuba for just a week and decided to give it a go. I have since then traveled on my own, either with or without a friend, to 4 other countries. Very often, it's hard to find someone who wants to go where I want to go. I meet with a tour group once I get there, and everybody is welcoming and friendly. When I told Gabor that I would be going to Romania and that one of the stops, which is the salt mine at Torda, will be about 15 minutes from Sinfalva, he arranged for me to meet the ICUUW minister, and I am very much looking forward to it. I don't know yet if he will bring me back to the village itself. I'll be speaking to my tour guide this afternoon. I will be leaving in a little less than 2 weeks and will let you know how it goes when I return. Well, that is my story, and I don't know how long it will continue, but as the saying goes, we'll see.
Now for me to try some more Hungarian. Please rise as you're willing and able, embody your spirit, and you will sing this.
For many years, MUF has been a member of the UUA initiative, which maintains a presence at the United Nations. This initiative is called UU at UN. Each year, there was an intergenerational spring seminar, often in New York, right across the street from the UN building. MUF has been involved with the UU at UN for many years, and the president, Bruce Knotts, has been our guest several times. However, Bruce has retired, and it seems that this organization will not survive his retirement. Now let me tell you about another organization, the International Convocation of UU Women, sometimes known as the ICUUW. This organization is a United Nations non-governmental organization, NGO, and here is a statement of their aims and purposes. Quote, partnering with women's groups and other community organizations, the NGO advances equity for women and girls worldwide through leadership development, economic empowerment, violence awareness, and prevention advocacy and resources, end quote. Why am I bringing this up at a Sunday service which is nominally about the partner-church relationship? Well, this organization is closely associated with an organization in Transylvania called Unitariusz Nők Szövetsége, or Unitarian Women's Association. In fact, the founder and executive director is Zsófia Straczynski, a Transylvanian Unitarian who now spends half her time in Romania and half in Houston. This is a truly international organization. They conduct frequent Zoom gatherings, which draw about 50 Unitarian women from the US, Canada, England, Romania, India, the Philippines, and other countries too. Bruce Knotts and I are two of the very few men who attend these gatherings regularly. In addition to the Zoom gatherings, they hold large meetings called convocations every 4 to 5 years in locations around the world. The next convocation is planned for Transylvania in 2024, and it is my intention to attend at that time. I will use that opportunity to visit our partner church in Sinfalva again. The point I want to leave you with is that with the apparent demise of UU at UN, the only point of engagement between Unitarianism and the United Nations is this organization, the International Convocation of UU Women. So there is a convergence between our interest in global engagement and our long relationship with our partner church in Sinfalva. To a great extent, the threads come together in Transylvania. I hope that this program has given you some interesting history and description of our 30-year-old relationship with a group of Unitarians in a small village in Hungarian-speaking Romania. There is much more to see and learn from in the Partner Church Corner in the library. I encourage you to have a look or have several looks because there is a lot to see. There is a lot of interesting information on our page in the MUF website. Just search for the word partner at muf.org and the page will pop up. I recommend in particular the photo collections of the various visits that you will find there. Finally, I'd like to encourage you to get involved with this committee. It's kind of amazing that this relationship exists at all and has persisted for so long. And I hope that it will continue to exist long in the future. I'd like to say that we need new blood, but maybe given the association people have with Transylvania, that would be misunderstood. Contact any of us or just sign the interest sheet in the Partner Church Corner. Thank you.